Good evening. I'd like to welcome everyone to the 57th meeting of the Jacksonville Environment and Appearance Advisory Committee. I'm calling the meeting to order now. Our first order of business is to adopt the agenda. Could I get a motion to adopt the agenda or amend it?
I make a motion to adopt the agenda.
Thank you.
I second.
Thank you. The minutes are before you. Do we have a motion to adopt the minutes, correct them, or reject them?
I make a motion we accept the minutes as written.
Thank you.
I second.
Thank you. Our first presentation tonight is going to be by Mr. Kerry Terrell regarding the Capital Improvement Program.
Good evening, members. One of the things that I'd like to do tonight is between December and May is a very important part of the fiscal year for the city because the city starts the preparation of their budget to submit to council for their approval. And one of the most integral parts of that budgeting process is the capital improvement plan. And we've been through this one time before, but I'd like to just go over it a little bit about what the capital improvement plan is about. It is a list of identifiable capital projects and acquisition needs over a period of 10 years. The capital improvement plan shows projections, costs, and estimates, and identifies sources of financing. It evaluates, prioritizes, and schedules projects. Now, the capital improvement plan is a 10-year plan, but the only part of the plan that is approved by council is the fiscal year, the upcoming fiscal year. Just as we indicated, it's only the fiscal year 23 projects that will be funded by the council. The other projects that are in the capital improvement plan will move annually up in priority as the years go by, but it has to be approved by council in order for it to be funded. A capital improvement plan is capital improvement projects that are longer than 12 months to complete, exceeds $50,000 in cost, has a useful life greater than 5 years, and the plan includes sewer projects, water projects, NCDOT projects, and major construction or renovation projects. There's a great deal, and a lot of people don't realize this, but there's a great deal of work by the city employees that go into the infrastructure that the city has. And to give you a good example of that is, over the last fiscal year, water repairs, there were 304 water services repairs. Water main breaks, there were 35 that the city repaired, 34 turnoff valves, meter installs were 38, and then valve repairs were 5. On the sewer side, there were 60 sewer repair services, 81 service backups that had to be repaired, 46 clean-out caps, sewer mains, 7 that had to be repaired, and blockages that were 12. So there's a lot of work that goes into keeping the infrastructure of the city in good working order that a lot of individuals we don't see behind the scenes. In the capital improvement plan, there is a total of 48. There's a total of 48 water and sewer projects. 6 of those are through DOT, 17 are water projects, 18 are sewer projects, and 7 are combined water and sewer projects. In fiscal year 23, there are 18 projects that are due to be completed or started, at least started. One is DOT, and I think some of us already know this, where we're going to try and connect Commerce Drive to Piney Green, which is a major project. There are 6 water projects, 9 sewer projects, and again, 2 combined water and sewer projects was total 18. 13 of those projects that I talked about of the 18 are carryovers from the last fiscal year. And there are 4 new projects that are going to be done in fiscal year 23. Some of the things that we want you to realize too is this is a current development interest map, and it shows potentially what's going to happen as far as the growth of the city of Jacksonville is concerned. That 500 single family 36 acre plot is on the corner of Western Boulevard and Gum Branch, right beside the CVS. That's a lot that's inside the city limits now and due to have 500 plus households there. You also see up at the top 68 lots that are due to be developed that are in the city limits, and also 128 lots at the top. So there's going to be a lot of work going on inside the city of Jacksonville, increasing the infrastructure that the city has within. I'm not going to go over all of the projects that are on tap for the capital improvement plan, but a couple that caught my eye that, you know, I feel that it's important to notice. The Holiday City pump station, Holiday City, we're going to replace that pump station. Turn to Ellis, it moved by itself there. We're going to replace that pump station because of the need to do so. We're going to replace the city infrastructure, the city-owned infrastructure, which is the pipes and the pumps, in order to upgrade that pump station to fully utilize that pump station. Though there's a shallow wet well that needs to be expanded, along with the pumps and so forth that need to be improved. We also have, and I think everybody, the Ellis pump station upgrades. This is a picture of the Ellis pump station, I believe, during Hurricane Florence. As you can see, it's pretty submerged. And what we're going to try and do is we've got between $300,000 and $360,000 from FEMA, which is going to help to upgrade that particular pump station. We're going to try to make it flood-proof, so to speak, and give it some resiliency. The upgrades will be to the electrical and biofilter system. And it says on the presentation here that preliminary designs are underway. Well, the design has been completed, and last Tuesday, the city council approved this project. So this project is going to be underway in a month or two in order to get that pump station taken care of. You know, and that's basically capital improvement 101. There's an awful lot of work that goes into that. Again, you know, I indicated to you there are 48 projects that the public services and DOT have on tap for that, which is quite expensive. Down the road, there is a project that's going to transpire over on the Western Boulevard side, which is very expensive. It's a $43 million project. Senator Lazaro has gotten the city $20 million to help take care of that project. So there's a lot of stuff that goes into the capital improvement plan. There's a lot of things that are happening in order to improve the infrastructure of the city. And this is just a sort of the tip of the iceberg to keep everyone a little bit informed about what's going on.
How long does a pumping station last?
Well, to be honest with you, we want a pumping station to last sort of forever. You know, there's some upgrades that you have to do, and there's some equipment and stuff that wears out, but you try to keep it up for as long as you can. We've got some pumping stations, I think one or two maybe, Derek, you may help with that. That's probably about 50 years old. So we want to try and keep it for as long as we can, and that's why we do some of the upgrades that we do on some of these systems.
Thank you.
Ellis, where is that located?
Beg your pardon?
Ellis pumping station.
It's not far. Do you know where the water tank is over there?
Is it by Wooten Park, sort of back in,
Yeah,
Their office.
it's not far from there
Back in
as the
there
road
through-
flies. It's about a
from
couple-
Lejeune
couple
Boulevard
blocks
back
away.
through, to
Well, when you-
Wooten
Yeah,
Park?
Does anyone remember?
it's on Ellis Drive.
Yes.
Remember the
Oh,
old
okay.
Regazzi's that used to be?
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, if you go to where the old Regazzi's used to be and take that left turn and go down Ellis, just before you get to the townhouses on the right-hand side, that's where the Ellis pump station is
And it
located.
gets flooded really, really bad.
Yeah, that's a really low-lying area, so when it rains hard, you know, that area around it floods. And if it gets too bad, you know, it'll flood. You know, Hurricane Florence, it was, you know, completely flooded and the water ran to the wet well. So that definitely needs attention, you know, and since that storm, we've been kind of, you know, praying, you know, that we had some good luck until we get this project rolling, but it's been needed.
Absolutely.
For some time.
Now, where are these 500 single-family units going to be located again? I didn't get that.
Yes, ma'am. If you go all the way down Western Boulevard to go to Gum Branch Road, there's some new development on Gum Branch Road, you know, the McDonald's and the whatever. Well, there's a CVS that's right on the corner. And if you take,
Barbecues right next to it.
yes, ma'am.
They're going to be in that area?
Yes, ma'am. They've already, now if you go down there and you take a look at it, they've already cleared the area. They cleared the area about a year ago, but there's been no building yet. And then they're back in there now trying to clear the area again. So that's where potentially those 500 houses will go.
And that's inside the city limit?
Yes, ma'am, it is. Yes, ma'am.
And it's single houses,
As far as I know, yes, ma'am, they're gonna be single houses. Yeah. There may be, I don't know if there'll be any apartment complexes or not. I don't think so. I think part of it's zoned for single houses and commercial. So I believe that most of it's gonna be single houses.
I have another question. With all those units going up, will the road be improved because the roads are congested now?
Well,
Just a question.
yes, ma'am. That's a good question because we really don't know. There have been plans with DOT to expand Gum Branch going out to Richlands. Whether it is in the cycle, I have no idea. I don't know whether it is. That is in the plan somewhere, but I don't know if it's immediate or 5 years down the road or 10 years down the road.
Additionally, there's a DOT plan to extend the Jacksonville Parkway to Ramsey Road.
Yeah.
Now, I think the DOT had some of their plans postponed, some of their projects postponed. I don't know the exact dates on when you can expect them to start breaking ground, but I know that those two projects should definitely help. I just don't have a time frame for that. We'll have to get with transportation.
Yeah, find out.
Touch base with them.
Because I'm wondering how much the new transportation hub is gonna affect that section of 17 and the 17 Gum Branch intersection, because that's a busy intersection as it is.
It comes to a halt.
Only time will tell.
I know.
Yeah, only time will tell.
I know, but it looks nice. That building looks very, very nice.
Yes.
Beautiful.
Any more questions about the capital improvement plan or anything you'd like to know that we can find out and get information to you about?
You mentioned Senator Lazar. What is, the money he got will go where now?
It's gonna go, there's a huge project, and I've got the information somewhere, but there's a huge project, I think it's called.
Western Regional.
Yeah, Western.
They've changed the
Regional.
name a few times over the
Couple of
years.
times.
I know they've been planning this for a while because they're preparing for the growth in that area of town.
Yes, and it's gonna be, I believe it's a $43 million project that, is going to,
It's a trunk sewer that's gonna help that part of town with the sewer system heading out to our land treatment site. So right now we just have that one main that collects over there at the main pump station over by Ports Plus and pushes all the way out down to the Fire Tower Road where the land treatment site is. This project is gonna not duplicate it, but it's gonna give us another line.
Exactly.
Another force main, that can get our sewer out there. And it'll support growth, so, a decade ago, 20 years ago, it wasn't much of a problem, but as Jacksonville grows, and that's kind of where Jacksonville's growing, it's gonna put, increased pressure on our, sewer systems.
Yeah.
So it's just there to relieve that.
It's gonna go all the way down Western Boulevard, and I think it's gonna go under the river too, if I'm not mistaken. But it's a 40.
Don't know how they're gonna do that.
It got something to do with the widening of Western, because I know they were talking about adding 2 more lanes to Western.
Those are two mutually.
That's different.
Yes, sir. It's different. This is a 43 million project to put a headworks, force main, a pump station across Western Boulevard all the way down to 17, I believe, eventually to 17. And I think part of that, and Derek was right, part of it is because we only have one main pump station that pumps the sewer out to Landap. That's on 17, that building that you see on 17. I think maybe it's beside Courts Plus or whatever. And this will help that system. We won't have to rely just on one system to pump all that material out to the Landap system.
Anything since that main pump station's been there, when you look at the development around town, Carolina Forest was built, Williamsburg Plantation.
Yeah.
Built some new apartments. So that whole area of town, that pretty much didn't exist, 20 years ago is now there.
And it's a good thing, and it's an improvement, and as Derek mentioned, it'll help that location in there, and it'll help growth too, as far as that location is concerned, in order to expand and help the city expand down in that area. Okay. Anything else?
Thank you, that was good.
What I'd like to do now is, it's been some time since we've met, and we did not show anything to you about the Halloween decoration winners. This was first place for the Halloween decoration winners, 1026 Foscue Drive. The next one is also first place because it was a tie from the voting members here. 2489 Northwoods Drive, that's a nice one too. Then second place was 505 Walking Woods Lane. And then this is third place for the Halloween decoration contest, is 129 Durban Lane. We also had the holiday decoration winners. This is Christmas, so to speak, the holidays. First place was 1202 Huff Drive. Second place was 121 Wesleyan Court. And this is third place is 100 Keller Court. Okay. All right. I'm gonna give it over to Derek right now so Derek can talk to you about the Adopt-A program.
It'll be brief. I would like to say that, I was excited to see the participation that we had in this committee's cleanup in the downtown area, so I expect to keep that going. So we had one new organization that has volunteered to participate in our Adopt-A program and keep Jacksonville clean and green. Mount Horeb Lodge, they had adopted in Kerr Street for a 2-year agreement. And they've already completed their first cleanup, so we went ahead and built them a sign and already got it up there, posted on the street, advertised for them. So we appreciate their support and look forward to working with them for the next couple of years, keeping that street clean. And then the only other thing that I have for this committee is our next cleanup. So looking at a calendar, knowing we're meeting tonight, thinking maybe April 30th. It's a Saturday. Of course, that's open for discussion. If you all have an alternate date in mind that you'd like to propose, I'm more than happy to work with you.
Any suggestions? Or is the April 30th date good?
I think it's good.
Okay. So we'll look forward to meeting April 30th in the same place there at 9 a.m. If that works for everybody.
Okay.
Okay.
This is open discussion, but we want to talk a little bit about Arbor Day. Arbor Day, the city observance is April 29th, 2020. That's a Friday. And I believe we'll do it at the same time we did it last year, around 10 o'clock, but this time it'll be at the Northeast Creek Park. And what we'll try and do is really get with media to kind of promote the idea of Arbor Day and see if we can't, widen the participation as far as people being there. For the viewing audience that don't know, Arbor Day, the idea of Arbor Day originated in Nebraska. It was a lack of trees there that led to the founding of Arbor Day in the 1800s. I don't know if anybody knows the gentleman's name, but it's was Mr. Sterling that started it. Some interesting facts that I didn't know that I'd like to share with the committee is the first U.S. Arbor Day was celebrated in Nebraska on April 10th, 1872. And it was then proposed by the Secretary of the Nebraska Territory, John Sterling Morton. By 1920, over 45 U.S. states were observing Arbor Day. The Arbor Day Foundation was founded in 1972 to celebrate the 100th anniversary of the holiday. And this is a tidbit that I think no one ever knew. The Arbor Day was almost called Sylvan Day, coming from the Latin word silva, meaning forest or woodland. But Mr. Morton, Sterling Morton, decided against this name because he wanted to include all types of trees and not just a specific tree for the planting on Arbor Day. It is also estimated that over 1 million trees were planted in Nebraska on the first Arbor Day, which is pretty significant. In the U.S., Arbor Day is often observed on the last Friday in April, which is what we're doing. The first documented Arbor Day was celebrated in the Spanish village of Maldonado in 1594. Yeah. And they planted what they call lime and horse chestnut trees. That's interesting. And today, at least 44 countries worldwide celebrate Arbor Day each year. That's not states, that's 44 countries, which I think is pretty significant. This will be, I believe, our 42nd Arbor Day celebration. And I think we have been designated that for the 42nd time, which really, really significant and sets Jacksonville apart from a lot of the communities that are in North Carolina and as far as the country is concerned as well. I'd like to just show you a little bit of what we did last year. On the left, you can see the tree board members participated in Arbor Day. We gave each of the tree board members a section of the presentation to give, which was, I think, very nice. I liked the setting, and I think the weather agreed with us, and I think it was really nice. The main purpose, again on the right, was to plant trees, which we did at Fire Station number 3. As you can see on the left-hand side, we had a grade school participant, which I think was excellent. I think she enjoyed herself, and I think she went back and shared some of the stuff that she saw and at the Arbor Day Celebration with her class, which was really super. I'd also want to thank, with all the Arbor Day stuff that goes on, we have to really thank the Recreation Department for what they do for us, because they do a lot of prep work to make sure that, we have the trees and we have a place to plant these trees. And media, as you can see, does an excellent job in helping us kicking off this Arbor Day celebration. Again, on the left, you can see the tree board members. At top, that's the Tree City USA flag that we get annually every year, we apply for every year, and we get Miss Sunshine doing her speech. So it's a pretty good thing that we do, and it's for a good cause. Like I said, it's going to be at the Northeast Creek Park, and I'd like to make sure that we try to kick it off with the citizens of Jacksonville to try to expand the participation in there, and I hope that we can get as many advisory board members as well as tree board members there as possible to participate in helping plant those plants that we have. Okay. Anybody have any questions about Arbor Day or any other questions about any activity that they'd like to see, do, or whatever?
I got one saved topic.
Okay.
If I'd like to save it until we make sure everyone's tracking on Arbor Day.
Okay. All right. Anybody have any questions, any concerns that you may have, or suggestions about Arbor Day?
You say you were gonna try to get the other committees involved, because
Well,
usually it's just us.
Other committee members,
Committee
because, yes, ma'am, because last year, if you noticed, we only had the tree board members.
Right.
Yeah, and I'd like,
Pandemic time.
yeah, I understand that too, and then I just like to get more of the committee together in doing the celebration on Arbor Day. And also too, what I mentioned earlier, I'd like to try to get with media and not only promote it for the citizens of Jacksonville, but I'd like to see the expanded participation of the citizenry in Jacksonville.
And the date, so Arbor Day is the 29th, and then we pick up trash on the 30th.
A big part?
You said Arbor Day is April the 29th,
Yes, ma'am.
and pick up trash is the 30th?
The cleanup, yes, ma'am.
Clean up the 30th?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Good work.
I want to make sure.
Yeah.
What time?
Well,
I'll send out some notifications.
All right.
Yeah.
What time is Arbor Day? What time do you have to be out there?
9, oh,
Well, we're gonna kick it off at 10 o'clock, so, if you're there by 9:30, that'll be fine. Also, it's something that I did not mention, I'd like to mention again. I had on the agenda about the Star Wars. What I'd like to do this time, if everybody's in agreement to do it, is do something a little bit different and have each of the committee members nominate an address for the Star Awards. I think that'll be a good idea. And one of the reasons is I've not gotten, as far as the voting is concerned for the Star Wars, I haven't gotten everybody's vote, but I'd like for everybody to at least submit an address or whatever where they've seen driving around the community that they feel deserves some kind of the Star Wars, so that we can send that information out to you and have everybody vote on it a little bit, just to pump up the participation a little bit.
Could you send out a reminder on that?
Sure.
Absolutely can.
Text on that.
And I'll send out notification, a week prior to Arbor Day and our cleanup.
Yeah, 'cause we're missing several
Yeah.
members today,
Right.
so we need to let them know also. Perfect. Okay, and you said you had something you wanted to add?
I did. So our city council recently met this week, and they approved an increase in the budget via consent for the New Bridge Street project that's part of the New Bridge streetscape It's part of the downtown effort to rejuvenate downtown. That project, they've been trying to get going for the past years. But initially when they put it out for bid, the bids kept coming in too high. And so it kind of got shelved. Well, we finally got bids back that were commensurate with what we could work with. So right now, with that being approved, they're working out the final details. You can expect the next 30 days that contract to kind of be completed now that the money's available. And then you can expect the contractor to, they'll wait, and they'll order their supplies and, gather the equipment and assemble the necessary crews. But this is going to be a 2-year project, and I think it's 2 phases right here between Warlick and pretty much the Freedom Fountain. So we have some really old infrastructure in the ground right here, right now that needs to be replaced. So they're going to be replacing all the water lines, all the sewer lines, all the stormwater lines, in addition to repaving the street, the new bridge street itself, as well as installing new sidewalks. We don't have those diagrams here for you tonight because it was too much of a tight turn to get that information. But in the June meeting, I'd really like to present some graphics to this committee to see what you guys are going to get after 2 years of somewhat of a headache coming around this area.
And we went over that a while back in the meeting about what the New Bridge streetscape was going to be like. I don't know if there were any revisions, whatever, but we did get a basic concept of what was going to happen as far as New Bridge Street is concerned. And like Derek said, it's a 2-year project. There's a lot of extensive stuff that needs to be done underneath what you don't see that has to be completed in that deal.
Like they're putting the power and everything underground?
As far as I understand, yes, sir.
Get those poles off the street.
But that's one of the capital improvement projects. That's a really big deal.
And that was hardscape and landscape, both, wasn't it?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
That's what I was getting ready to ask about landscape or
Yeah.
make sure.
That sounds awesome. Okay, does anyone else have anything they'd like to share? Our next meeting will be Thursday, June the 2nd, 6 p.m., I'm presuming here in A and B.
Yes.
But Derek will keep us abreast with that. If there's no other questions or concerns, we'll go ahead and close out the meeting. I have a motion to close it out.
Make a motion, we go home.
Second.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.